Well, it's my own damn fault I got conned. I got my $2,400 back, but I didn't get my $375. So here's the thing. If you guys are worried about your tax debt, you haven't paid your taxes in a few years, and you're really scared, right? Because the IRS is this big angry beast that's gonna attack you and take all your money. Well, if you haven't filed and you don't make a lot of money, they're probably not even looking at you. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't get your taxes fixed. Now, I'm currently going through and I'm trying to fix my taxes. A big problem with my taxes is that I'm stupid and I don't know anything about the IRS. I don't understand taxes. I never have understood taxes, right? I think a lot of you can relate to that, right? It's this thing that we never really learn about, but we end up being we have to be responsible for. And normally you have tax professionals that will do your taxes, or your taxes are so easy you can do them for free. Well, I was doing a contracting job, which they didn't pay any of my taxes, so it fell all onto me. I didn't realize that. I wasn't filing my taxes. So, years later, it became a little bit of an issue. But overall, I was worried because I didn't know how much I owed, and I didn't even understand how the whole tax thing worked. So I went with TaxRite. Well, I first went with Hewlett Packard. They said $3,000, and I was like, no thanks. So they reported me to the IRS. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm trying to get my stuff handled. As long as you're trying to get it handled, they're going to let you try to handle it. So then my mom sends me a text that sends me this advertisement for TaxRise, right? She heard about TaxRise. They got excellent reviews. And so I'm like, okay, fine. So, we finally set up the meeting. We're talking. I was late. I was tired. I had just gotten done doing a couple shifts. And, I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. $375 right off the bat. Boom. Got my money. And then, they call you within 3 days to set up things. So it's already non-refundable. You'll find out later that it's non-refundable by the time you get to the next step. So you get to the next step, and that's when they want $2,400. And that's when I also found out that I only owed about $6,000 to the government. So my question became, why am I paying you guys $3,000 so you can tell the government that I can't afford to buy myself food, right? And that's why I can't pay taxes, is because paying taxes would take food out of my mouth. Which I was like, no, I don't agree with that. And they were like, no, it's fine. No, they're not going to check on you. They're not going to investigate. It'll be fine. I was like, well, no, I'm probably going to make more money soon. Oh, no worries. They never really checked. And I was like, you know what? I fell for it. I gave them the $2,400, but then I canceled within the 3 days. It was a hassle. It was a process, but they were very nice and respectful the entire way. Waited almost 7-8 days for my refund, got my refund. And that's when I acquired about my $375. They kind of gave me the roundabout. And then finally, they just called me back this morning and told me that $375, non-refundable. That's how their payment for dealing with my taxes, which essentially was not much of a process because I did that same thing while they were doing it. I then learned how to do it myself and then realized I had access the whole time because I could log into the IRS. I'm not always the smartest cookie. I came off with my very first video saying I wasn't that smart. And so I fell for the scam and I'm out $375. Can I write that off on my taxes? Right? I don't know. Probably not. Overall, I know how much I owe for last year. So I'm just going to pay last year's. And then when I get some money, I'll go do it another year and then pay it. The only sucky part is that if you file your taxes late, it's like a $500 penalty. The interest and fees, not so bad. The penalty, that sucks. So my overall complaint is that of all the debts I have, like I have a medical debt, man, they re-upload that every month on my credit score. And they add a few hundred dollars every month for like the last 10 years. You owe a Verizon phone bill instantly in collections, right? AT&T, all of them, just like that. But the IRS, when you owe them money, they're like, shh, we'll get around to you when you make enough money. Usually as poor people, probably doesn't matter until you hit a jackpot at a casino or a lottery or something, well, that's when the IRS comes after you hard, huh? Yeah. So I'm trying to get my taxes fixed. And I'm going through the process of fixing my taxes. And if you're in a similar boat as me and you're not really sure, just log into the IRS and look at your tax statements that have been reported. Start there. File, pay off. That's it. It's a very simple process. And if you don't want to pay taxes, you're just zero dependents and then plus 10, as one of my supervisors has informed me, is a great way to always get a refund. Not everyone has to deal with this because a lot of people just do that extra and they don't have to worry about it. Me, I've always been, I give the government bare minimum. So then at the end of the year, I end up paying another $1,000. Though I can claim dental work, so maybe that's what I should do.